day 10, video 10, the sickness edition. I'm pretty sure you can hear a little bit in my voice that I ain't doing too well, but that's not going to stop me. Ha ha. Had a couple of things run through my mind today, and I hope I can touch on them, but I'll just go into it. First thing I want to touch on is, I never really understood the idea behind organized crime, because it's organized crime. Is it just me, or does something not seem right? Because how is crime organized? How is it that mobs and whatnot are able to exist? How is it that a lot of gangs out there are basically willing to go in and go do whatever they want to do, and pretty much it takes years, if not decades, if not essential lifetimes for most people to not either get caught, brought up on charges, face any jail time? To me, it's one of the craziest things ever, because I don't understand the idea behind the fact that you have these Italians up on the East Coast, or of the European variety, or of the African American variety, just basically a lot of gangsters on the East Coast who have crime families, organized crime families. And you know that these crime families are doing crime, but at the same time, it's like, we ain't got enough evidence to take them down, whatnot. I understand that's how a system works, but it's just, somebody get back to me on that, because I don't understand that. That's just weird to me. I never really understood the idea behind organized crime, and the fact that these people can get away with so much for so long. It's pretty crazy. Another thing, failed relationships. I know they suck, but I'm going to give you a bit of advice that I've gotten from people, and that I've basically took to whatever I've been trying to do. In a relationship, you have to make sure that you do everything you possibly can to be a superstar. And what I mean by that is going the extra mile, doing the extra things. You have to make sure that everything you do in a relationship is for the good of the relationship. A real man, a real woman, they know, or two real men or two real women in a relationship, they know that no matter what you do, it's always going to be two people. There's always going to be compromise. There's always going to be, there's always going to be a way to pretty much compromise on what you want out of a relationship. And you have to make sure you do. Even if the relationship doesn't last, you have to make sure that no matter what happens, you did the best possible. You did everything you could to maintain that relationship and keep that relationship alive. If it still ends up faltering by the wayside, then that's what you got to deal with. It still ends up faltering by the wayside. But no matter what you do and no matter who you are, always remember that when it comes to a relationship, pretty much you're going to have to be the person going 100% full throttle if you truly want to be there. If you don't want to be there, then my advice to you is don't be there. Don't string nobody along. Don't lie to nobody. Side chicks and side dudes, okay, if that's what y'all want to do, but you ain't doing nothing but wasting a whole bunch of other people's time. And since this is the generation where we like to waste a whole lot of people's time, and I guess that a lot of people are going to do whatever they want to do, and that's fine. Because if you accept it, then what does that say about you? Remember, people, relationships are 50-50, where you're going 100% all the time. Because though you know for a fact that this is about your relationship, this is also about what both of y'all want out of the relationship. And it's not always easy. I compromised a lot in my relationship. And even then, it still wasn't enough, because at the end, when she was ready to go, she was ready to go. Broken hearted, I sat there, everything just sucked. And it was after I got burned that I still tried to compromise. It was after I got burned that I still tried to save everything. And It's humbling looking into the other person's face and the same connection not being there anymore. The same spark that got y'all there in the first place is just gone. And when you get blindsided by it, there's a lot of things that go into that. Now, there are a couple things that I'll admit. I played a hand in my relationship falling by the wayside, and I don't know if I've ever said this publicly, but I will say this publicly. I had a big reason. I was one of the main reasons that my relationships fell, because